Hey TJ, I'm looking pretty hot right now, that's all I gotta say. I just woke up. Yeah. It's my waking up face. Stayed at David's and it was hell. Like, right as we get there, hold on. Right as we get there, like, I just started feeling horrible, and like on the way there, we picked up Taylor Johnson for Caitlin, and like, it was just like a really awkward car ride because like we put in a dthst CD and like we're all like jamming out to it, and like something just like hit me, like I just got a horrible headache, like it was so bad, and so I was just like, oh god. So as we get there, like Caitlin and Patricia are just like, yeah, let's go get the wine, and so I'm like, nah. And so they they're going and they're like getting themselves drinks, and they're like, do you want some? And I'm just like, I really don't feel good. And Caitlin was like, do you want to go lay down? And I was like, I mean, kinda, like I want to take a quick nap so like it will go away so I can like wake up and keep like partying. So she's like, alright, well you can like lay in the mattress in the living room, or you can lay in David's bed, David number 2. And I was like, I'm gonna go lay in David's bed because it's really loud down here and there's like a bunch of people. And she was like, alright, that's fine. And I was like, you sure he's not gonna mind? And she was like, it's David. And I was like, sure. So I go in there and I get all snuggled and I'm like falling asleep, and Evan calls me and he's like, hey. I'm like, hey. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, laying down, and he was like, it's 10 o'clock. I was like, yes. And he was like, oh well, why? And I was like, I just don't feel good. And he was like, oh, alright, well I guess I'll let you go. And I was like, okay. So then I'm like I don't know how to explain it. Like when you're like half asleep and like you're basically asleep, but if someone like makes a noise, like you'll wake fully back up, like whatever. Well, I'm at that point. Next thing I know, I hear like a door like slam open and like the lights turns on, and it's just like this huge guy, and he's just like posting up, and I was just like, I like rolled over and I was like, yeah. And it was like some guy, and then like David number 2, and David was like, oh, I can see you made yourself nice and comfy. And I was like, listen, I have a really bad headache. And he was like, it's fine, it's really fine. And I was like, alright. And I was like, when Caitlin said it, was like, okay. And he was like, oh, Caitlin told you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, it's fine, just make yourself like home sweet home. And the other guy was like, I mean, she already did. And I was just like, listen, if y'all don't want me laying here, like, it's fine, like, I'll move. And David was like, no, like, really, Crystal, like, it's fine, we're just kidding with you, like, and I was like, okay. And he was like, alright, well, I guess he wanted to get in on with Patricia. So Caitlin comes in, like, 10 minutes later, and she was like, hey, Crystal, go to the other David's bed, David number 1. And I was like, alright. So I'm, like, half asleep, like, stumbling through, and, like, go, and I just, like, plop down, and that's when I talked to you on the phone, and I was like, I like kept like literally like full like throw up in my mouth, and I would like swallow it back down and throw up again and like swallow it back down. It was so gross. And yeah, you can tell I just look awesome right now. And like next thing I know, like I see like a shadow like at the door, and it was Eric, the other roommate, and like I guess he thought I was like some random person. So he like walks in the room and he's like, David? And like he like runs out and gets David, and they're just like, no, it's fine, man, like it's Crystal. And he was like, oh, okay. And well, like 4 in the morning, because like Caitlin was like, you can just sleep here because we don't think David number 1's coming home. And I was like, alright, because he went out to like the bars downtown. 4 in the morning, I hear like a step like boom, like right on the bed. And I thought it was like Patricia and Caitlin just being like obnoxious, like trying to wake me up. And so like I like roll over, about to say something smart, and I just see this face, and it's like David, and I'm like, oh. And I was just like, okay. So I roll back over, and like I had just this, all I had was a little itty bitty blanket, and it was freezing. You have no idea. It was so cold. And I'm like sitting there like, okay, I have this on, I have a scarf, I had fully jeans, I had boots on, still motherfucking cold, okay? So I'm like sitting there, and I'm like completely like balled up in this like little blanket, like freezing. And I guess at like 6 in the morning, like, okay, this is me, this is David, and the bed stands like right here. Well, I guess David's like used to not having anyone in the bed, and so like his alarm went off, and like he like leaned over to go like smack it. No, I was in the way. Okay, so like he like goes and like hits me, and like just like feeling down my body, like thinking that it's like this nightstand. And I guess he like realized it was me, and he was like, oh. And like pulled away. And I just kind of like pretended like I was still asleep. I was like, you know, I don't want to embarrass him, like me waking up and being like, what the fuck. So, and then like he like got up around and like turned off the alarm and went like laid back down. The alarm went off again, so finally I was like, fuck this, it's like 8 in the morning. I was like, I'm up. And like he kept like rolling over on me, and I was just like, this ain't happening. So I go down, and I'm like, hey Caitlin, like we gotta go. And Caitlin was just like, alright, whatever. It's like she was in a really bad mood because I guess she didn't go to bed till like 7. So like in the car she was telling us how like Taylor Johnson was like I guess they like hooked up or whatever, and she said that he couldn't she said that he couldn't keep it up. And so then like Patricia and David number 2, okay, you gotta follow me here. Okay, it's me and David number 1 passed the fuck out. Okay, Patricia and David number 2 getting their groove on, and then downstairs in the living room there's like just a mattress. You'll probably see it when you come up. And it's Taylor Johnson and Caitlin. And so I guess he couldn't keep it up, and like David number 2 and Patricia had just got done doing it, and they just fell asleep. So Taylor like runs up and like knocks on the door to like tell like David. He's like, oh man, I can't get it up, like what am I supposed to do? And David number 2 is like, I don't fucking know, man, like I'm asleep, like don't bother me with this. So Taylor runs back down, and like at that point Caitlin was like, alright, like I'm done, like we're not gonna do it, like it's cool, like I'm not that worried about it. And he sat there for an hour and a half and begged her. It was just like, just give me 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, that's all it takes, you'll change your mind. 3 minutes, okay, 2 minutes, 1 minute. And Caitlin was like, no. And he's like, not even 1 minute. Like finally Caitlin was just like, no, god damn it, no. Like my answer is no, it's still gonna be no, no matter how many times or how many like which other ways you're gonna ask me, it's still gonna be no. And like I was just like, oh shit. So like on the ride home I was like, so I guess no more trips to David's? And Patricia was like, yeah we are. I was like, alright, it's gonna be fucking awkward now, like I don't know. So Caitlin had like a miserable time, I had a miserable time, Patricia had a blasty blast, but it's what is. And I'm tired as fuck. Actually not really, I went to bed at like 10 and I slept the entire time. I thought I'd be like wake up, but no. Like when you text me like fucking 4 in the morning, homeboy, I like half woke up and I was just like, nah, I can't even fucking reply right now. I like read it and I was gonna wake up, but I just still felt sick, so I was like, nah. My eyes look like black holes right now, like what the fuck? But then they look blue right there. Oh no, it's weird. I'm gonna die. Okay, I'm done. Well, oh yeah, and like we went back. Oh, my brushing. We went back and to go get someone's car. I forgot who, but like that kid that said all that stuff to like Caitlin about me was still there, and like he got so excited. He was like, and like waving, and I was just like, so I rolled down Taylor Johnson's window. I was like, you can say something, and Taylor was like, oh hey man, and he was like, oh hey, what are you about to do? And he was like, oh, we're going over to David's, and I was like, what the fuck would you tell him that? Like, I don't want to get raped tonight. And he was like, it's not an invite, Crystal. I'm just telling them what we're doing. I was like, okay. I don't want them thinking that it's an invite, because it ain't. But if I ever see him, it's gonna be fucking awkward now. But yeah. Good thing you weren't there, because if you would have said something, you probably would have died, because there was like 6 of them. Yeah, it would just probably been best if you just kept your mouth shut. There's times where you say stuff and there's times where you don't. And one of them last night was time you keep your mouth shut. Alright, well I'm hungry. God, you're gonna see me like at my worst state when you stay with me. Like, I'm gonna be rolling up out of bed looking like a fucking Godzilla monster. Yeah. But me and your mama biffles, and she's sharing the embarrassing pictures of you. Hey. How does it make you feel right now? It's okay. My mom will probably be like, oh, look at Crystal. Like this one. I was a little thug. No big deal. Still am. Oh, you just text me. Hey. Alright. Yeah, hold on. I think you should go home. Like, your mom was telling me you haven't been home in 4 days. Yeah, you need to fix that. For reals. I don't... I have to babysit again at 1 to 4. Alright, well... I'll be going. Love you.